So I just want to say welcome, and I'm super glad that you're here with us today for this amazing design to manufacturing event. My name is Rachel Jones, and I'm the training specialist team manager on our training team. And we're going to talk about, well, you probably guessed it, training. Really, I'm always so impressed by all the ways that you guys, our customers, maximize on SOLIDWORKS and its related tools. Despite all the things in 2020 and 2021 that we've been handed to us without any sort of choice in the matter necessarily, you guys have made it work. You rise above. And that theme, rise above, has really been something that Hawkridge Systems Training has focused on, and it encouraged us to keep focus in 2020 and of course into 2021. As Dale mentioned earlier today, we've partnered with SolidProfessor, and with that we've been able to upgrade our subscription offerings for you, especially when it comes to learning and the tools that you've already invested in. So before we jump too far into what we're up to on the training front, I'd like to learn a little bit more about you. So we're going to launch a quick poll. It should pop up in the middle of your screen. Otherwise, you'll also be able to see it over on the right-hand side in that vertical right-hand bar in your session screen. So my question for you today is, what type of learner are you? Do you consider yourself to be a visual learner, someone that needs to see it done or read about it in order to learn? Maybe you're not sure. Let's see what else other people have to say. Maybe you consider yourself an auditory learner. You need to hear or talk through those steps before you grasp the concept. Or do you consider yourself a kinesthetic learner, where you need to really try it out for yourself in order for that learning to take hold? And like I said, you might not be sure. So I'll give you guys a couple more seconds here to fill that in, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah, actually, I'm just going to have to create that poll right now.
Oh shoot,
We didn't make a new one, so give me a
we.
moment here, and
Oh,
I
I
will.
apologize, guys. We utilized our poll, and then so I'm gonna so just wait a minute, and that poll will pop up for you guys, and we'll talk through it together as well. So again, just really asking you guys what kind of learner you are. And again, I'll explain those real quick while we're getting that poll popped up for you. Is that we're just asking you to consider what type of learning makes it sticky for you. Are you a visual learner where you need to see it done, or maybe you need to read about it in order for that learning to stick for you? Do you consider yourself an auditory learner where you need to hear about it or maybe talk through it with somebody before those steps are really grasped for you or those concepts are grasped? Or do you consider yourself a kinesthetic learner where you need to try it out first, um, kind of make some mistakes along the way, but really kind of get in there and dig and get that hands on in order for that learning to be sticky? And maybe you're not sure which kind is the stickiest for you.
There we go. The poll hopefully should have
Oh,
launched
it's live there.
now, and will pop up on the screen. And if not, again, as Rachel said, over on the right-hand column of your screen, if you're not in full screen mode, it should be over on the right-hand column. There's a polls tab that you can access, and it should be there.
Yeah, correct. Correct. All right. Yeah, we'll just give it a couple more minutes. Look like so we have a lot of kinesthetic learners, a few that maybe aren't sure, some visual and auditory learners, just a kind of a mix of everybody. So we'll go ahead and close that out, and we'll move on and kind of talk through what those learning methods mean here for us.
All right, I have ended the poll.
All right. Okay. So we have got that variety of learners, and that's really awesome. And really, it was kind of a trick question. I'm not going to lie. I kind of threw that out there to you guys. The truth is, we don't necessarily learn in one way. We might have a preferred method, but we really need all of those elements to make that teaching and that learning stick. So we as instructors really think about those three ways when we're teaching, and you as learners really need to have those coming in all three ways. And really no one way I would say is better than the other. Like I said, we do have our preferences, but the reality is they need each other to bring a balance to our learning. That's why we really drive home using all of those three methods, and it's important to us that our training is set up for you to be able to grab and for us to be able to offer an opportunity to learn in those multiple ways. So for our visual learners, we're going to instruct and demonstrate those tools, those tasks, and those series. So you're going to watch them be done. And then For you auditory learners, those of you that maybe have that preference, we're also going to be, as we're instructing and demonstrating, we're going to be explaining those tools, those tasks, and those theories. So you get to hear about it as well. And then for our kinesthetic learners, you get to follow along, and everybody actually gets to follow along, right? You get to follow along with our instructors while they're going through and demonstrating and explaining those tools, those tasks, and those theories. And of course, there's a book, and you can read through those things, kind of bringing in that visual learning as well. And then the bonus inside of this is those lab and exercise times where you get to try it out and on your own make those ever so important mistakes that are really an essential part of learning. So what does that mean for 2021 and looking forward into 2022 and beyond? Well, honing in on learning methods is only really a piece of that puzzle. It's important for us to also be able to offer training using multiple learning tools and modalities. This is what we really want to be able to set you up for success with. This year and looking ahead, we focused on making our training, your learning, rise above. Not only did we work on how we can overcome so many unforeseen challenges that these last 2 years really have brought us, but also focus on how to put ourselves on a trajectory to make your learning path and those learning options amazing by really changing the whole game. So, in addition to that instructor led training, really kind of the thing that we're the most used to, you get to hang out with an expert instructor, up to 9 of your closest friends if you're doing in a private training, or perhaps 9 other individuals from a company. But what if we added to the mix? What if we added some self paced learning? So you get going before class gets started, brush up on a few skills, maybe give yourself a few reminders before you start that instructor-led class. Or maybe you want to follow up on a few things that you learned while you were in class. Give yourself a few reminders on those complex or maybe niche topics that the instructor discussed on your own time, right? It's self-paced. Next, what if we could make it that even better if we were able to offer a way for you to connect with an expert outside of the classroom that could answer your questions that you've run into while modeling or setting up a study, perhaps, really almost anything that might come up for you. You've done the self paced learning, you've taken the classes, and you want to connect with someone in the know on what you're doing and how you're using those tools. Really get some one on one time. Doesn't that really all sound amazing? It sounds amazing to me. And if you're able to put all that together, what an amazing and wonderful, fulfilling learning journey that could really be for you. Well, we've been able to do that. For our customers, especially those that are choosing our elite subscription option, you have access to all of that and it's possible. So it's not only, like said, accessible, but it's also possible for you. So that instructor-led piece, the part that we're used to, we've got that covered in our classrooms and our virtual training platform for online learning, with tons of opportunities for interacting and engaging with the instructor and with the other students. You're going to learn a ton with our expert certified instructors. And then if you're on that elite subscription package with us, you also get access to a $500 credit to use towards your instructor-led training course. That's pretty cool. And then for self-paced learning, you guessed it, we've got SolidProfessor in the mix now. So a massive library of content at your disposal for learning in those bite-sized pieces, and they're available 24/7. So as Dale mentioned in this morning's annual session, this strategic partnership with SolidProfessor really sets apart the training and learning options for you, our customers. And when you are a Hawker Systems customer on any of our subscription options, or newer subscription options, I should say, you're going to have access to SolidProfessor. Let's take a quick look at kind of what that looks like in a practical sense. So on our website, you can access our virtual training platform. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on training, hover over training, and then I'm going to go to our virtual training platform. Okay, so let's say I've registered and I've been confirmed to the surface modeling class. Okay. So I'm going to be directed to, once I've got myself registered and confirmed, I'll be directed to activate my account into this virtual training platform. And then once I've got those classes registered for myself, I'll see those pop up once I log in here. So this class is coming up next week. If I click on this, you can see really easily, I can click on Join Virtual Classroom come next week when it's actually time to do so. And that's where I'll be able to hang out with my instructor and the other students, where that's where the learning is going to take place. I can also click on the Launch Virtual Desktop. excuse me, on that virtual desktop in case I were to need access to SolidWorks, and it also gives me access to all the course files. If I'm going to use my own session of SolidWorks, that's not a problem. We'll also be able to download any files that I might need before class. And there's a list of other files I might want to grab. From inside here, though, I can go look at the course catalog, knowledge base, our YouTube, but I can also go directly to the SolidProfessor page from here. So let's say, right, I'm in that surface modeling class. I've taken the prerequisites, but it's been a few months ago and I need some refresher on some of the topics covered in advanced part modeling. So if I want to look at different courses through here, I can go ahead and search, but maybe I've already got something started. In this case, I do. I'm going to go to my dashboard. I'm going to pick up where I left off on some of my advanced part modeling lessons. So inside of here, and let me pause this here. So let's say I need to have a refresher on multi-bodies, because that really does come into play quite a bit inside of the surface modeling course. And I just want to make sure I understand that pretty well before I jump into that next course. Okay. Let's take a look at now, we've looked at how we got the instructor piece in place with our virtual training platform or our classroom, and then where we get the self-paced piece with SolidProfessor. All right, so our last piece, that one-on-one, that was the piece that we talked about being super amazing. So we've got the virtual training platform, kind of gives us that instructor time. SolidProfessor gives us that self-paced time. And then what we have new that we've added in that one-on-one space, where we know it's going to really make stuff stick kind of at the end there, is a new item, our Ask an Expert sessions. So our Ask an Expert session is set up to be 2 hours each, and it's included with your Elite subscription when you have choose that subscription model with us. And we'll give you that one-on-one time that you need to really add that special touch to your training journey. Right, go from maybe a little bit of self-paced instructor, a little bit more self-paced, kind of mix that in as you see fit, maybe with some kind of prescriptions from your instructor, and then top it off, get that cherry on top with that one-on-one time, that Ask an Expert. So with that, let me show you a little bit about how you can access that. So if you already have it, I want you to know how you can get a hold of that. On our website, if you go to under SolidWorks, go to subscription. We have all sorts of information about our subscription packages and some of the benefits related to our subscription. But one of those things is that Ask an Expert. And inside of here, it talks again about it being a 2-hour session. You have access to really our amazing set of engineers. We have an amazing wide and deep bench. It's pretty phenomenal. I'm always blown away by our team. And then you can go ahead and just book your time. So enter in your information and add some of the comments in there. Tell us a little bit about what it is that you're trying to do. Really, I do find this to be just an amazing way to kind of round out your training. So with our Elite subscription, you have options to all sorts of different ways for learning. And so that's how we're changing the training game. We're not just going through one tool, one method, and then we're done. We really want to help you bring through into that journey. So I just have one last set of questions for you, and I apologize, Jordan. Are we ready for a second
We
poll
are.
here? Awesome.
Yes.
So let's get that second poll. Thank you very much. Let's
No
get that
problem.
second poll going here. And this one I'll let you kind of keep to ourselves here. But I just want to know, are you a Hawkridge Systems customer already with us? Maybe the answer is yes, and I have that Elite subscription and I'm going to go use it. I'm super excited about that. Or yeah, but probably need to upgrade to that Elite. I need to get myself ready and going in those different learning methods. Or no, but I sure would like to be. So let us know. All right. So I wanted to give ourselves the last couple minutes. We don't have a ton of time left here, right? This is one of those really fast sessions. If you guys have questions or thoughts, if you have additional questions after this session, feel free to reach out to your account manager, your sales rep, and get excuse me, and get kind of get those conversations started. You certainly can also send an email always to training@hawkridgesys.com, and we'll get that routed to the right people if you're not really sure where to go from there. All right. If we don't have any other questions, we can hang out here. We've got a couple of minutes left. I don't want to cut anybody off. So looks like there's a couple of questions coming in. Is there a minimum amount of people needed in these classes? So all of our classes online, we limit it at 10. We try and run with, certainly a few people in there. Some of our specialized classes will run with fewer students. Our ideal class size is probably about that 4 to 10, right? We like to have full classes so that there's good interaction in there. But if we're posting a class on the calendar, in general, we're planning on running it, right? Let's see. Yeah, and just Jordan made a quick comment here. Don't forget to visit those booths, check out those lounges. There is a whole session coming up in just a few minutes here where Pedro from SolidProfessor is going to give a session just really more specific about SolidProfessor itself, so you can see some of those advantages and how you might integrate that into your learning experience. Yeah, let's see. Oh, Marty. Yes, Marty loves this training method. Yeah, Marty and his team have done a lot of training, and they've really been able to embrace kind of using multiple learning modalities, and it's really created some amazing sticky learning for their team. So thanks for that comment, Marty. Yeah, so self-paced training is awesome, right? Because you may not have a bunch of that time during working hours, or maybe you need something to be really kind of quick and bite-sized when you do have those moments of downtime, so you can grab that. Yeah, Alex had kind of a comment about like, I'm not sure my boss will go for this. Let's go ahead and we can maybe have a side conversation, Alex, if with maybe your sales rep or your account manager, we can kind of figure out the right way to get you access to the training that you need. All right. Well, we're down to really the last minute or so here, the last few seconds. So if there aren't any other questions, oh, I did see just one, sorry, pop up in the Q&A. Oh, the price difference between the basic subscription and the elite. That one, yeah, Alex, we can get you a message set over privately, get you that quote. It kind of all depends on the types of seats that you have and that's just a regular subscription thing. All right, well, thank you so much for your time, everybody.
Actually,
Jordan,
Rachel, there's one more question here from Ryan. Ryan, yes, do the SolidProfessor courses cover the same material as the Hawkridge courses? Yes and no. To a certain extent, some of them do have similar content, but they use all different file sets and are often broken up in different ways. So you might be going through some of the similar material, but in a totally different way. And then they have a ton of additional content that may not be part of a regular SolidWorks course, like things like geometric dimension intolerancing, just 3D visualization and 3D sort of
and the
how to
stuff,
go
right?
from all the what's new stuff back many years. So if you want a quick refresher or an update training on, say, you're moving to 2021 or you're moving to 2022 SolidWorks, they have refresher courses on like all the what's new content there. So there's a plethora of stuff in there to check out, and a lot of it they do have sort of sample videos. Even if you aren't a SolidProfessor customer subscription, elite subscription customer yet, you can check out some of the content right away as a teaser to see it.